One.
Hello there, ESEA fans. I'm Richard Lewis from cadred.org, and I'm going to be casting yet another game from the Season 13 of the CSGO European Invitational. And the last two we've actually casted have been not great in terms of them being competitions. They've been very one-sided. We're hoping this one's going to be not so much. And with me, as always, I hope for this season, although perhaps not, depending on when MTW get their stuff together, have got Josh Steele Nissan, who's going to be offering some insight into what the players might be thinking while the competition goes on. So good evening, Josh.
Good evening, Rich. Glad to be here again. Tonight's back to
Yeah, I know. I'm amazed. It's like you've got free time on your hands or something.
back. I know. I mean, things that you can do without a team.
I know, it's pretty cool, actually. You should make this a permanent arrangement, I reckon. Who wants to play? But anyway, so let's analyse the two teams that we've got. Well, obviously, it's fnatic and Curse. fnatic, the Danes, which have been hastily reassembled after they lost two of their starting lineup and had to bring in two stand-ins. And, of course, Curse, the Finns, who a lot of people were surprised when Curse picked them up. They didn't think they were a particularly good team. A lot of people felt they were going to massively underachieve. And since then, they've possibly been the one team in Europe that have really pushed NIP all the way in this very league, as it happened when they went to overtime before losing 19-15. So let's start with the Danes. fnatic, it's a great name in Counter-Strike. Everybody knows that. They are one of the teams that are synonymous with excellence, and their 1.6 team was a dominant force. Now that they moved into CSGO, they don't seem to be replicating that as yet. What do you make of them, Josh?
Well, Fnatic, we first saw their debut, I think it was, a week after they started playing this game. They were at DreamHack. And although they didn't make out of the groups, they did push, I think it was Mouse Sports on Dust 2. So we can see that maps that they're familiar with from 1.6 they'll do well on, and they can be a tough team, but they also have picked up Frost and one other player from Joker, yeah. So with those two pickups, maybe they'll be better suited towards this game. But also another thing to note is that DE Mirage is pretty much one of the closest ports from a 1.6 map to CSGO. So they'll be familiar with this map, and they should be doing well on this map against Curse.
Well, it's interesting because obviously you have got Trace and Freeze in there, and you've made the point about the source players coming in. Frost, I mean, I know there's an American namesake, and I mentioned that in the last cast, so if there are any Americans listening, yeah, don't worry, he's not suddenly reappeared in the European continent, but he's one of the players who has been, for me, one of the most consistent in the Danish scene. He instantly improves any team that he's on. So the idea of him being a stand-in for me is amusing, because I think no matter what player he replaces, he's just so consistent, just does his business so well, makes those frags, can always be relied on in a rush situation to get two or three, and very smart in terms of how he positions himself around a map and uses terrain. So things to pay attention to there. But with Jochen, he's more the unknown quantity. He's what I like to call a Twitch gamer, a very high sense player, and an AWPer by trade. So he can be a bit hit and miss, but when he is on form, as we saw with the old Epsilon lineup, out in Denmark, he's unreal, like a next level player, and somebody that can be very dangerous. Whether he'll get the platform on which to show us that in this team, I'm not too sure, because I think there's obviously some bigger names that might want to be wielding the big green gun ahead of him, and I don't know how much of that is going to be a factor. I know you've been in a situation like this with MTW, who are known, of course, for their stable rosters. What's it like when you bring stand-ins into a competition and then you've got to play a prolonged period of time with them? Do you give it your full focus, or is it hard to really take games seriously?
It depends on what you're fighting for. If you're fighting for something that's just 1 out of 16 matches in an online qualifier for a LAN, you might take it less seriously, especially against one of the lesser, not huge name teams. Huge name being NIP, very games, teams to beat, teams that will just absolutely annihilate you if you don't give it your all. I'm saying teams that are kind of in the middle area, not the best but not the worst teams, you might not care too much about the game, but if it's something like an ESWC qualifier for another event, which is like basically this match makes or breaks it, there'll be a lot more focus on the game. But this is the second game of the season. I don't think they'll care too much.
The next question I want to ask, just before we move across to talking some about Curse, who definitely deserve a large chunk of our pre-match analysis. But, I mean, is there not a risk that these Fnatic players are effectively playing, you know, to stay in the organisation? Because Fnatic aren't going to tolerate a second-rate team for very long. Already we've seen a lack of stability, which, of course, is synonymous with Danish lineups. I mean, you know, what lasts longer, a wine gum or a Danish lineup? You know what I mean? They just don't stay together for prolonged periods of time. And we've already seen that. Here we are, the start of the season, we've already had to chop and change. So I don't know whether or not Fnatic have already maybe got an eye on bringing somebody else in. You've got Khan looming in the background. You know, he's on the roster, funnily enough, for this. He's a stand-in, potentially, although I don't think we'd see him play. But is there not a risk that they might go back to some familiar names that they've worked with in the past and just rebuild from the ground up right off this season and bring somebody in that's going to compete at bigger events like your DreamHacks, your ESWCs, potentially your WCGs?
Well, I'm not too sure about the inner workings of Fnatic as an organization, and I don't know what their connection with their players are. Maybe they have a stronger connection with these three core players that they have than they do with any of the ex-members or members who recently left. But another thing to keep in mind is that maybe Fnatic as an organization wants to give their CSGO team a chance with this new lineup, just because 1 week after the 1.6 team fully transitioned into CSGO, they went to DreamHack, and then after DreamHack is when they realized, okay, we don't want to play together, let's just start fresh, let's get 2 new players, and let's figure this out as we go. And maybe Fnatic's giving them one last chance, and is basically going to give them this ESEA season maybe, to work things out. Maybe it's a little bit longer, maybe it's a little bit shorter, but I don't know. It's too difficult to say at this point in time, because I don't know who else Fnatic would give the sponsorship to, if not this team.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Now let's move over to Curse quickly, because people are typing ready. So we are about to go live, I think, in the next couple of minutes. Curse, I'm sure you're going to have played against them at some point, although possibly not at LAN. Just for those that don't know, it's pretty much a mix of some of the real old school 1.6s, including Natu, who is a fantastic guy, as well as a fantastic player, one of the nicest blokes you will meet in CSGO. And interestingly enough, I was talking to someone about them the other day, and they were saying the reason that they feel Curse is going to be successful is because they've come into it with, they had a bit of an ego, and then they got spanked in a few games and realised, wow, we really need to treat this as a completely new adventure. And since then, they've been receptive in talking to Source players and have really made great strides forward as a result of that. So what can you tell us about Curse from your personal experiences?
I haven't played against them for a long time, but if what you say is true, then they should have a easier time than a lot of teams who don't have support from Source players. Teams like, I saw Navi switching into the game recently, and when I was watching them play, it was painful for me to watch that. They executed strategies without smokes, without flashes. It was just guns out, basically. And I know that teams like ESC, for example, they haven't had any Source influence with their tactics, and you can see that it took them 3 months to start being able to actually compete with other teams, even mid-tier teams from Source, like FM Toxic, for example. So
I like the way you use them as an example, given that you've got a friend on that team.
Well, the thing is that you have to look at is that FM Toxic in CSS, they weren't a top team. You never saw them on the podium in a Source event, maybe except for an I-Series in the later days, but even mixed teams who went to I-Series took out FM Toxic, so they weren't considered like a top CSS team. But then you have them almost at the top of CSGO for a period of time, and now that ESC is caught up, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
that
I am with you. I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time, Josh.
I know you are.
It's not my style.
You could have just said Weber. That would have. But anyways,
so let's talk a little bit more about Curse, though. So individually, what do you know about these guys? I mean, can you maybe point out a particular player you think is going to be worth watching for the people at home?
That's actually really difficult for me. The only names that I'm kind of familiar with are Natu, but the thing is, they come from a 1.6 background, and I don't have any in-depth knowledge of the 1.6 scene really, except for how they've done in CS:GO.
I thought you would have at least done some light reading about the teams before you did this casting gig with me, man.
Yeah. Way to throw me under the bus. Okay, let me just turn off the stream, I guess. If you want to play it like that.
Let's talk about Natu at least then. I mean, everyone knows him, right? I mean, his reputation is justified.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Curse is that they haven't had a lot of success in this game in basically for a few months. Even DreamHack, they didn't do as well as people had hoped they would. Ever since they joined Curse, like everyone was like really thrilled and happy that Curse picked up another team, this time a European team, as we know that Curse picked up the old Call of Duty whatever squad from North America. I forget what their team name used to be, but it was with like Frost and Anger and Skadoodle and those guys. So Curse having two teams, everyone was excited and happy for. These guys were formerly known as the Hawks, but we haven't seen anything from them yet. We haven't seen any good games. We haven't seen any close games against NIP, for example. They've just been kind of cruising under the radar.
Yeah, well, for me, I like it when those teams are cruising under the radar, because it seems to be the radar that actually breaks a lot of teams from achieving their full potential. You know, when people are all really expecting big things, and you know, a prime example, funnily enough, is NIP. Because nobody expected them to do anything. Everyone said, "Oh my God, there's Freiburg. You know, it's going to be Get Right and Forest are going to be carrying them, and then they're going to get, you know, sick of doing that. Then they're going to bring in some of their old 1.6 buddies. You know, they're not going to want to play long term with these guys." And as we've seen, it's worked out to be the perfect blend. They got on to do their business without any real problems, without any real distractions. And you know, I think Curse are in a great position to do something similar, because you know, they've proven they can mix it with the best of them. Like I said, they took NIP to overtime. They were very close to being their first competitive loss for Ninjas in Pajamas. So yeah, I think they're a very good side. But as the Pistol's about to go live, predictions. I'll let you go first.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I actually think fnatic will take this. I think they're going to take this in a close matchup, maybe 16-12.
Well, my prediction is Curse 16-10. So once again, we find ourselves on opposite sides of the fence, which is exactly how we like it to be in this commentary booth. So, right, let's get ready for the pistol round. And we are going to have Curse on the CT. And we're going to have fnatic playing Terrorist, of course, because there's only two sides in Counter-Strike, just in case you didn't know that. A little bit of insider info. Just watching how it's spreading out, you can see that we've got this kind of... this is very interesting. This is actually a tactic that's going ahead here. And we've seen some flashes and smokes going over onto the A bomb site before we are getting a house kind of split and on the ramp area. But it's Unsub that's going to get the first kill. And then Natu's going to wade in and get another one onto Ritter. Natu's going to get another one, taking down Frizz. And they've read this very well. But Jochen and Trace are going to answer back for fnatic. So it's all happening at the moment. Trace is just going to drop down this ladder and try and get a nade into that ramp area where we've got a very low HP person representing Curse, and Trace has got another kill there. So all of a sudden we're in a 2v2 situation. That's a great nade from Alu, but combined Curse only have 16 HP, and Reflex is going around here. He's only got 4 HP, so it is all on Jochen. Quickly move to Jochen Cam. Of course, he's got to get the bomb down, but he could blow on these guys, and I think they would die at the moment. So just needs to get that lucky face and get a couple of bullets to land with his Glock. There's one, a headshot. That was a bit of overkill. So there's now a 1v1 situation for Jochen, but he's not going to be able to clutch it. And even though Reflex only had 4 HP, I don't know what to make of that. Can you say it's a fail or not? I will ask you about that in a second, Josh, but we're just going to get this defuse in. just confirm that he doesn't time out or anything. And yes, there we go. Curse are going. It's happened.
I know.
Curse have took the round, and that's going to make them 1-0. So just to get your analysis while we go through the eco rounds, which of course they're usually very dull. Fnatic executed a great strat, and for me, they probably should have won the round. I'm surprised Jochen was unable to clutch. Did you notice anything tactically?
Yeah, well, as we were talking about just before this game went live, we were talking about how Jochen and Frost were the source additions to this game and would give this team an additional push. And we saw the smokes coming over the walls, landing CT spawn and connector, and that's something definitely that the source players brought to the table for this team. And it was a well-executed strategy, a well-executed tactic. But we saw Natu, I believe it was, pushing in through the smokes, getting to the site and getting 2 huge crucial pickups, which not only got 2 kills for his team, but it slowed down the execution waiting so the rest of his team could rotate over to the bomb site. Now, I don't think it should have been as close as it was, and I think the counter-terror should have had a much easier time winning that round, but it was well played from both sides coming into 2 versus 2, and then for Curse to actually pick up the kill in the defuse.
And while you were giving us that analysis, there was almost a bit of an upset. It's a very good plan, I would say, from Fnatic, but in the end, Curse managed to just hold themselves in place before getting the rotational kills with their SMGs. But Fnatic bought Deagles there, but they have had 2 plants. So, are they going to buy now, Josh? Are we going to see an early buy, do you think? Or do you think they'll just go full clock eco?
If you look at their money, they are fairly low, but we do see already Frost has an AK and then Ritter has a Deagle, so I think it was a bit of a misbuy here. I think what they wanted to do was save one more round. I think it was a mistake to get Deagles last round if they wanted to buy this round. But they are going to make do with what they've got, which is Deagles and AKs and Galils.
Is that split by a tactic, or would you say that's an error?
I think it's more likely an error, but it could have been a 3rd round surprise buy, and one person made the error as opposed to all 5 of them made an error.
Well, we are going to have a B split now from Fnatic, so they are going through the playbook, but Skirk has managed to shut down 2 people. You can see Ritter is going all the way around to try and get into this storage area round the back of B. He's going to find himself having a very bad time. Going to try and get Naden to do some damage, but not going to be able to take out Natu, whose superior weaponry enables him to get that kill. And then Alu's going to get another kill, and Skirk is going to finish it off with a nice little 3-man. So in the end, it looked very good tactically, but execution was poor. And I'm going to quickly look at the money because, yeah, I'm guessing we're going to see a eco round coming in here now because of that mixed buy. And just for those of you who don't know, who maybe have played Source and played 1.6, the economy is very different. The economy is certainly a lot less forgiving. So, looks like we are going to see a full Glock eco here. Josh, what do you make of that? Do you think that buy was ill-advised on the basis of what we've seen?
I don't think the buy was ill-advised. You can do a lot of work with Galils and Deagles in this game. I think that the tactic that they chose to run with that buy was a bit ill-advised. I think the best thing they could have done was to save one more round and then saved for an up and then gone with the default, kind of figured out how Curse is playing. But instead they opted to do what looked like a 2-man, 2 up short and 3 through B house, just a B split. But they didn't have any idea of how Curse is playing, and they're running a rush on their surprise buy. They shouldn't rush anything. They should try to do a pickoff strat with their AKs and their Galils, but they opted not to.
Well, it's 4-0 now for Curse, and Frost is going to get the entry frag, and that's not for the first time they've made the first kill, but they really haven't been able to do anything with it. But of course, it is a full buy now, so Fnatic are going to be looking to use this and just try and push and pull the counter-terrorists into different areas of the map. But while that happens, Reflex is going to take down Trace, so that's going to tie it all up. And of course, Frost, in getting that kill, is down to 12 HP, so arguably he's out of the game at this point. But they are going to make a move on A now, and Ritter is going to get the kill. Jochen was helping him. He's going to go for this fast plan, is going to get it, but of course he's going to see somebody rotating around onto those back stairs, going to try and smoke them off before throwing in a nade. And still going to get taken down through that smoke. Reflex is just going to push up and get him, and going to spam that bomb site, go for another one, throw a smoke of his own, and he's going to try and move through it. You'll be able to see on the Left 4 Dead cam the X-ray exactly where he is, but while that happens, Frizz has picked one up with the AWP. Reflex with it all to do. He's going to get taken down from the side. Natu doesn't want any of this with 19 HP, and he's just going to go away and save. So fnatic are going to take their first round here, and to get on the board in fine style in the end, and all thanks to that Frost entry pick, Josh.
Yeah, actually, Frost did a really amazing job that round. Not only did he get the entry pick, but what he was doing when he was lurking around the ladder room at mid on short, he was holding, I think it was Natu in the window, but he was also able to get a flank kill later on in the round, and that just really opened things up for his team. But the rest of his team, after applying a little bit of B pressure, having Curse rotate over to the B bomb site, they were able to just come up action into the A bomb site, and there's only one Curse member there to really stop them. And of course, with Frost on the rotation kills, the strat worked perfectly in their favor.
Well, we've got a fnatic setting up for something similar, although it's a lot slower. You can see that we've got Freeze. He's just on the ramp, and he's peeking with that AWP, but we are going to get some flashes coming over, so it looks like we're going to see this fast push again. Whether Curse going to be in a better position to stop it this time, but they are using the same setup as last round, so they're going to know where they are. But Nsub has answered back with 2, and Alu and Natu have pretty much shut down this round before it got going, so it's all going to be on Trace. Trace now almost got a headshot there, looked good to me, but no, game says no. Alu's going to finish him off with an AWP shot at distance, and fnatic are finding that when they do these pushes, it's not really working out for them. So rather than have some analysis this round, we are going to quickly look at the frag chart. 6 rounds in, 5-1 to Curse on the CT side, and we've got 6 kills for Nsub with 4 deaths. He's at the top with a score of 20. Frost, who we talked about in the pre-match, is the top for fnatic with 5 kills and 5 deaths, 13 points. So we're going to see what they're shaping up to do this round, and they have still got guns, fnatic, so looks like we're going to see Frost try and go. So it's going to be a B split. Frost really should have done better in that situation. Reflex able to turn around and get the headshot on him, but Ritter has revenged his teammate. We're just looking now. I'm trying to see what Frizz is doing, because he's in a very interesting position. He's managed to get himself into mid, and I don't think he's been spotted, but Skirk has answered back for Curse to give them the numerical advantage, and then it's going to be a 3-3 with Frizz getting that kill from that position that he managed to sneak into as a ninja. So Jochen is now going to be pushing through onto the other bomb site, going to rotate out with the bomb, and he is going to find it wide open. Natu gets another kill, and you can see Alu with the AWP has allowed the plant, but he's going to get the peak kill, and all of a sudden it's on Trace again to try and clutch this round. Isn't going to be able to do so. Natu, I think he should have done better there personally. Natu's going to get the kill, and that's going to make it 6 rounds to 1. fnatic really looking all at sea at the moment. Their tactics look good on paper, but when it comes to the execution, they're not really doing anything, and I think we're going to get another eco round, so that's a good time for me to ask you about what's happening here for fnatic, Josh.
I think fnatic is finally catching on to how Curse is doing the rotations and how they're setting up. I think fnatic's mistake that they ran 2 rounds ago when they tried to do their full A, it looked like their press around strategy, is that they took too long to do the execution. First of all, they had no map control for about 30 seconds before they executed the strategy, but also after that is they took too long to get into the site and get the opening picks, because we see Curse doing rotations quickly. We saw that when fnatic did the round where they won, where Curse ran out of position out of the B bomb site, or rotated to B, and then fnatic was able to run into A off of that.
Wow.
I think, yeah, that's an eco smash.
Yeah, there's eco smashes, and then there's eco smashes, though, isn't there? Like, just a nice little 4-man there. So
there are
absolute dominance there. But now we're going to see by, and I totally agree with what you're saying. It just seems to be that at the moment it's Curse that are really hitting their shots, and that's pretty much all it comes down to. It's tactically fnatic doing the right things, but if you get into the positions and just spraying away at blind opposition and you can't kill them, then there's something very, very wrong. And this is what I was talking about with you earlier. This is why I'm backing Curse all the way for this. They just look like a much more well-drilled unit at the moment. And of course, we're now going to see, I think we can divide the fnatic's playbook into strat 1 and Strat 2, and I think we're going to see Strat 1 again. You can see Ritter deploying these very same flashes, going to push through and do this A split. So we got them coming out of house at the same time and into a face full of flash, and then again just continuing where they left off with 2 easy kills. Alu on the back step, he's going to get another kill. Trace is going to answer with his AK, finally be able to get out of the house. Might be able to pick up 1 or 2 here, but he's just spamming away at Alu, who was disguised by the smoke. Trace in the end manages to get him, so now he's going to try and do a flash peek here. Trace, just try and get enough room to negotiate in and perhaps get some kills, but you can see Curse have pretty much got them surrounded here, and I don't think it's going to be end very well for them. Skirk gets a headshot on Freeze and then gets the second on Trace, and right now Fnatic are really struggling. They're getting onto the bomb sites but not doing anything with it, and money starting to become a bit of a factor, I think, but they're going to be able to buy this round, so we will keep the play-by-play running and see if they're going to decide to execute Strat 2 at this particular juncture. So they're certainly going to that side of the map, the 2 side of the map. But
actually, I'm going to stop you right now because they are actually ecoing. They're not on a gun round. They've got nothing.
Yeah, but that seems very strange. Surely they've got enough money to buy.
Well, they could with Galil's, but I think this team, they like doing their smoke takes. They like doing their smoke flash plays. So I think that's what they're trying to save up for. But I think the point I was trying to get to the other round was that they need to get out of their choke points earlier, and they need to get the trade kills earlier, and I think that's the main thing that they need to work on if they're not doing fake strats. We know their fake strats are good. They've won their only round from their fake strat where they put pressure on B and then went A, and they almost won that a second time. It came down to a clutch situation that they lost. So I think that's what they need to start focusing on more, or if they want to keep doing their executions by just throwing smokes, checking them over in flashes, and then running in, they need to get the entry kills just quicker, get the bomb plant, and then play the post plant later.
Okay, well, 10 rounds in. Let's have a quick look at the frag chart. You can see it's Unsu, but people have telling me I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Well, that's just hard cheese. 12 kills, 6 deaths for him, score of 32, and Trace top for Fnatic now with 6 kills, 10 deaths, and score of 14. But that kind of tells its own sad story for Fnatic. And just looking at the map, they've spread out a bit more here. They seem to be neglecting that A side. You can see Frost just kind of lurking in spawn, waiting for a house push. I don't know why he's particularly doing that, because Curse haven't really done anything too aggressive. They haven't had to, quite simply. They've just been able to sit back and let Fnatic rush into their crosshairs. So it's a very slow round. You can see here Natu and Trace separated by a very thin wall, and I'm guessing he's heard them boost up there, because he's playing very defensive in mid, not really peeking. Ritter down to his bottom left, and now you're just watching that crossover. Now Frost is going to deploy a flash over the top on A, and they're going to push out onto this ramp. So this is kind of a fake. It's a fake without the fake, and that's just going to run straight into Alu. Jochen dead, easy kill for Alu. Reflex is going to get one, Natu's going to get one. Freeze is going to pick up one with his ult, but it might be too little too late. He's going to get taken down, and Alu's going to get the last kill of the round. And I'm telling you what, this is horrendously one-sided right now. Fnatic have got to step this up. And I like what you're saying about fakes. I mean, they tried to do something a little bit different there, Josh, but it didn't really work out. And to be honest, I'm not even sure tactically what they were trying to do. I will get your thoughts on that in just a second, but let's just see, because I got a feeling now with the kind of fast, slow that they've been doing, we're going to see something a little bit faster now from Fnatic. And yeah, they're kind of crowding out the mid area. We can see that we've got Frost here going on to that catwalk area. Got his knife out, just going to run. The flash is gone. And he's going to get taken out by Reflex, and again, that's another kill he should have made, but Ritter's going to again avenge him for the second time. But Skirk's going to get a kill. Freeze is going to get one with an AWP. Now this is going to leave B bomb site. They've got a numerical advantage. They can potentially get this kill, and Freeze is going to fail that AWP shot. Is he going to get back up from his wingman Trace? Yes, he is. So they should be able to get this plant based on where Curse are positioned on the map. But certainly in this 2v2 situation, you would have to back the Finns. And there's the first kill, and there's the second. It is just too easy right now. Fnatic unable to get into a very good position for a crossfire. It's going to be 11 rounds to 1 Josh, you've already talked about what Fnatic need to do. Perhaps you can shed some light on what it is Curse are doing so well.
Well, first of all, before we go any further, I'd like to retract my prediction. I don't mind being wrong about the scores. I mind being wrong about the teams. And Curse is absolutely just dominating Fnatic at the moment, which is something that I did not expect. Curse, what they're doing right now is they're just holding their sights. But it's more than that. It's any time. First, they get their entry kill no matter what. The second thing is, as soon as they lose a player, there's a trade kill happening. So they make it a 5-on-4, and then as soon as Fnatic makes it a 4-on-4, Curse makes it a 4-on-3 right back.
Well, as I'm watching, they've actually bought again, so they're just mopping them up as they're coming out the site. Ritter's going to get another kill, but whenever they try and get out of house, I mean, they're not even able to really use the fact that the Curse player's on a ladder, and it's just over before it begins. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Natu drop back and is going to pick off a great long shot there onto Freeze. Trace going in for the plant, and I got a sneaking suspicion he's going to be getting absolutely rinsed very shortly. But he does get one. Natu is going to get that kill though. They all face together, and Natu's going to pick up the defuse, and that's going to make it 12 rounds to 1. Even got time to have a little casual look around, see if there's any guns he wants to pick up. And just all too easy when they're coming out of the house. Now, having a look at the money situation though, Fnatic, perhaps this is why they ran those ecos earlier, because they are still in a position, I think, where they can buy again.
But not ops.
But not ops, which, to be fair, I mean, while that might be a hindrance with what Frizz is doing, they're not really making AWP entry picks. Pretty much all their entry picks have come via the way of rifle. So we're back to strat 1. They're going to do the house split. And Frizz has gone mid, but as you rightly point out, Josh has got a rifle, so he's going to be throwing some kind of diversionary smokes and flashes there. Frost is just going to be holding house, while Frizz comes all the way back round. But again, Curse just playing so disciplined at the moment, holding the positions, not feeling the need to peek. And there's a lot of teams here with this kind of lead who would start just trying to get the rounds over quickly and start pushing, but they're not doing that. They are being disciplined, they are holding it. Natu's going to get the first pick. Frost was trying to make an entry pick there, was unsuccessful, and Alu boosts up onto that canopy area on the A bomb site to get another pick, I should say. Jochen is going to get one for Fnatic. And just looking here, you can see Alu is still jumping around with the AWP, but they are going to get yet another plant. Fnatic. Frizz going to get a kill. Alu, though, just waiting for the backup before he really decides to commit to this. And you see Skirk pushing in with the rifle. Trace is going to get him, so actually, things looking very good for Fnatic. Alu's going to go for this, though. No reason not to at this point. He knows where they are, has got the AWP, needs to hit this next shot, doesn't. Gets one, though, so he's going to fake this defuse, but the nade's going to come in. He was low, and that's going to enable them to get that kill, and that's a second round, but probably too little, too late. And we'll basically bring you in, Josh, at half-time, I think, because I've got a feeling this round's going to be over quickly. 13-2 is my prediction now. I don't see Fnatic stringing in another round together. But just a quick look at the frag charts before we go to half-time. Alu is top now with 17 kills, 6 deaths. Trace is got 10 kills and 14 deaths, kind of leading the way for Fnatic, but not in any kind of great shake. So, yeah, we got strat 1 being executed again. Ritter just throwing those flashes over the top. And some nades as well. But this is, like you pointed out, this looks to be a bit of a fake, actually. So it's strat 1 with a twist. Frizz going to get that entry kill with the AWP. And they are moving towards the B bomb site slowly, trying not to give away their positions, not making any sound. And you can see they're just waiting to see if Curse are deciding to actually push. And I don't know why they would, because they haven't yet. And you can see if you move over to Skirk, they are going to be heading towards him very soon. He's just in the right angle to be getting some headshots. He's going to get 1, going to get 2, going to get 3.
Oh, man.
Going to get 4. Absolute butchery, but not going to get the ace. Frizz is going to put paid to that, but he is going to get an assist, Skirk, so it's kind of an ace. And Reflex is going to get the last kill. And that is just too easy, Josh. What do you make of that?
That last round, oh man, I don't even know what to say about that. But what I did want to comment on was about Freeze and his up, and you kind of touched on that, saying he rifled that the round before last. And what I wanted to say was that we never saw him making an impact with his op the entire game. We saw anytime they ran their strat, what was it, strat 1, where they went A, he was always in the back. He was always like the third person up the ramp, and he wasn't getting any entry kills. I think what they could have done instead is, before or as they're throwing their smokes and flashes over, he can be there trying to get an entry kill. And we saw in the second round that they won, what they did is they got the opening kill. When they ran into the site, they got the first kill instead of Curse. And then from there, any trade they get is good for them, and then they can plant the bomb. But we never saw anything impactful from Frizz. He's just there on the team, but not doing anything important.
Yeah, and when you are an AWPer, you have got that responsibility to really use that gun as well as you can. But I'm not going to labour too much that point, because this is a crucial pistol round. And I think this is, is this live? Yeah, it can't be, surely. They've just run onto the site and made a plan. If it is live, that's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it looks to be. Ritter has got the first kill, but Curse have just bombed it out. Like, they've just Linford Christied onto the bomb site, planted it super fast. Alu is going to get a kill, and fnatic don't really know what's hit them. They're flashing, they're trying to get some nades in, they're trying to get some damage, but in the meantime the bomb is ticking away. Frizz is going to get a kill, Frost is going to get the next one, and Ritter's going to get another one, and then Frizz is going to get the last, and they are going to get this defuse, I think.
That was a great retake.
Yeah, that was an awesome
Oh no!
Oh my word! I could not believe that has happened. As if no one had a defuse on the team as well. And tell you what, that is just a morale killer. That is so bad, because, as you said, they did a great retake, and I thought they had enough time. It must have been a fraction of a second from being a defuse, but that must have won the game for Curse, Josh. What is going on?
Well, how to be a pro. Step 1, buy a defuse kit. Seriously, not one of their teammates had a kit on the pistol round, which is, I don't even know how much of a mistake it was, besides the ultimate mistake. But what we did see was a really good setup from them. They had nades just ready for Curse to run up action, run out apartments, and then Curse was basically all low health before fnatic ran in with their guns blazing.
I'm actually being told that Frizz had a defuse kit, so that makes it an epic fail, right?
Oh,
not just
man.
a fail.
Oh, that's even worse, if that's true.
That is true. I've had it verified now by 2 independent sources.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, that is just inexcusable, really. And Curse running riot in this round. Well, fnatic are trying to hold their own, and in the end they do. I'm not quite sure what the hell happened there, but that forced buy and Curse kind of just trying to force the issue and get the game over with has given them an extra round, so that does give them a little bit of hope. But I'm astounded that they've made an error. Experienced players like that making those sort of errors is just so poor. But anyway, I will bring your thoughts in a moment, Josh. We're going to see what Curse is going to do here, because although they are eco/deco, that doesn't really mean anything at the moment, because fnatic are playing appallingly bad. So they're going to get straight out of house, Curse, and you can see this A bomb site is just wide open again. Allow Jockin to get 1 kill, but now who's going to get the pick on him? Frizz is going to rotate and take down the AWP kill, make that 2 AWP kills. So he's going to make his contribution. Ritter is going to get 1. Skirk, though, is peeking away with just his pistol and doing work at the moment. And they're going to get another defuse. Right, Josh, I'm going to bring you in quickly before we go to this buy round. fnatic stable in the ship at 14-4 or delaying the inevitable?
Actually, they're looking really strong on their counter-terror side here. Just their holds every round has been good, even on the pistol round. But their EQ round especially, how they got the win there. But if they had a kit on the bomb, on that pistol round, they would have won all 3 rounds. We wouldn't even be having this discussion. It would be 13-5. We wouldn't be having the discussion at all.
That is a valid point. So let's see what Curse are doing. It looks like, I don't know, is it just another eco? And they're just going fast. And they know they can take this A bomb site pretty much at will. fnatic have tried to read that situation and have stacked it. And just doing work at the moment, just dropping bodies. Curse, every kill they get, just a bonus on an eco round, of course, just making things difficult for fnatic. And it's almost like they're just playing with their opposition at the moment, Curse. That long nade coming in from Ritter to shut it down. And this is going to be the important round, I feel. If this buy round for Curse, and they're going to have money in the bank, they've, I'm guessing here, no, well, maybe, yeah, they are not enough for an AWP, though, I don't think. So they are going to go all rifles. It's going to be interesting to see if they run that fast A strat again, because they've been getting on it and been getting plants with, you know, with pistols, so no reason not to do it with guns. Looks like it's happening. They're just going all out here. Literally just one flash and just go. Free fire in all the usual spots. Skirk just loving it at the moment. Such fine play from him, just getting on at the site, just running in. The smoked off the back stairs area. Gonna get this plant. Frizz and Frost managing to get 2 kills, but just having a look around the map, you can see that, of course, with the bomb ticking, there's smoke everywhere. They're not going to be too sure where the Curse players are. Frizz is going to get one, Reflex is going to answer back, but then Frizz is going to get another. So on this buy round, fnatic have managed to hold their own, and all of a sudden it's 14-6. Now, what is going right here from the fnatic perspective, or is this Curse perhaps being a little bit overzealous because they've got a lead?
Actually, I was about to comment the round before about how Curse has been running this A tactic, but they haven't been throwing smokes or flashes. They just ran straight up and tried to brute force the site. And this round they actually smoked off connector, smoked off CT spawn, and ran in. And I thought fnatic was definitely going to crumble, but they have severe patience. They wait for the smokes to go away, and then as soon as the smokes go away, they come back and do a really serious retake and just completely own.
Well, it's the same strat again, and it's with guns again. They've gone all rifle. Jockin's going to pick up 2. Could have been a third. Reflex is going to stop that though, but does lose a lot of health. Frizz going to start answering with his AWP, the man that you were singling out for not really doing a great deal at the moment. Has been making some pretty good rotational flags. Alu boosted up onto this box area with it all to do. Is going to get 1. He's going to have to be the clutch master, but it's a 1v2 situation. Has no right to make this, but the way things have been going for fnatic, you couldn't really rule it out. You can see Alu's just going to be pre-firing the area, so he's got a very good idea of where people are, and if he can get just 1 kill, it's going to change things. He has got 49 HP though. Frost on 48, Trace on 100. And you can see Trace just on the back stairs area, just holding. No need to peek. Alu's got time to play with though. 40 seconds on the clock. Not able to tap shot at the moment. So 23 HP, Frost on 22. So this trade has been pretty much neck and neck, but Alu is going to get the kill. And he's actually not certain where Trace is at this moment. He knew he was backstairs, wondering if he's rotated, and now he's kind of trying to not make any noise. So should have time to get to B if he's going to do it, or is he going to go around him? Well, he's used his brain here, but in the end the health was a factor, not able to really have the impact he liked. But such good play from Alu and very unlucky not to clutch. But of course, while that happens, that is another round for fnatic. And Curse, money wise, they must be due an eco surely.
Actually, I want to call Frost out on that play. It was a 2 versus 1. They had the bomb in the site. Trace played that perfectly. Frost overextended about 5 times. The first peek was okay. Every peek after that, and he did about 4 of them with 20 health, was a bad play, and it almost cost his team the round. And if it wasn't for Trace to have the proper rotation, here comes an eco smash, I think.
Yeah, probably is another one. You're absolutely right. Although again, nothing we've seen in this game has really been that easy to predict. It looked like Curse were going to run away with it at one point, but now fnatic are starting to get back into it. That's yet another eco bash. Is the decision from Curse to not really use an AWP or try and utilize some AWP picks, is that costing them? They seem to be just running 5 rifles at the moment.
I think they're throwing away a lot of these rounds, to be honest. I think they are getting into the site. That's the thing, and I think that's the reason why they continue running the strat. The A strat, which they're running again at this round, I believe, is because they think, since they're getting into the site and since they're getting the bomb plant, they think that all they have to do is get the kill, and then they're going to win, because they come so close every time.
Consistently out-aiming them, you know, all game, and I guess that does start to play on your mind. When you think it's easy, you are going to go out there and, you know, just not really overthink things tactically. You are just going to push and just rely on your aim. But things are a little bit different here. They've shown them the fast A strat. They've shown fnatic the fast A strat, but they haven't actually done it. They've decided instead to delay it and then do it. So that is a variation on a theme. Jockin's going to get that entry kill. Reflex going to answer back. Frizz again well positioned with that AWP, but we're going to see another bomb plant. Skirk again just loving it. Just runs onto the site and plants every time. Reflex trying to get a kill. In the meantime, his teammate Alu does Alu in that mid area is now trying to stop the rotates, and that's what they've done differently this round. Alu is now in a position to get behind them after taking out Trace, and he's just going to hold that angle. Knows someone's going to peek. Ritter is that unfortunate person, and he's going to get taken out of the game. Frizz with it all to do, not able to do it, and that is going to make it match point for Curse. So I like what they did there. They showed him a fake, then they went and did it anyway, but the difference was they had a wraparound guy who was able to get some kills in the back. Is that what you made of it, Josh?
Some kills is definitely an understatement. Ali was huge that round, even though it was only a 3 kill and the kills are so far apart. The fact that he stopped the rotation, and that's what fnatic relies on. They rely on the rotations on that A bomb site retake, and Alu crushed it. There's nothing they could do. He just said, "You're not rotating." Got 3 of the kills, and fnatic they couldn't, only 3 members left of Curse. They couldn't retake the round.
Okay, so it's a match point now for Curse 15-8. Let's have a quick look and round the map and see where people are, and you can see this is a different tactic. They've realised the run and gun might not be the way to go, and they have surrendered a lot of rounds, but not a dissimilar strat. They're just loving a bomb site at the moment. You see Natu's got right up ramp without even being seen. We're going to get a smoke down, but in the end Frizz is going to answer with the op. Jotlin's going to get 1, 2, 3 from him. Reflex going to answer back, but I'm telling you, he's got it all to do here. Don't really fancy his chances. And he's going to get 1, so there's a headshot there on the Freeze. He's going to start getting rushed, I think. Has got the bomb to plant as well, and actually fnatic perhaps smartly backing off. Flash is going in. Reflex has managed to kind of maneuver into a good position, but in the end Ritter is going to get the crouch and spray kill, and that's going to be another round for fnatic to make it 15-9. Looking good for my 16-10 prediction here. I'm actually fingers crossed that I'm going to get something right, because every other prediction I made I think's been wrong so far. So let's just look and see if we are. Well, we're going to see some more buys from Curse, but we are going to see an AWP now from Alu. Do you think that's going to be tactically significant, Josh?
Honestly, it's too hard to tell at this point in the game because they've just been running their fast A strats every round. But great hold by Joker in there that last round. My auto director froze up and I couldn't switch players for some reason, so I missed the 3 kill, but I know he made it from sight onto the execution. But a fast round here from Curse, and a fast round to B.
Do you know what? This is actually looking very good for Curse. I'm sorry to cut you off, but what I expected to be another by the numbers march into the suicide valley is actually turning out to be pretty good, and there it is. Now Frizz is going to have to clutch 1v2, not going to be able to do it. That is going to make it 69, just 1 round out for me. And in the end, well, it looked like fnatic were going to shut it out, but they didn't. So Curse are continuing to prove that they are not a team to be sniffed at, which those of us in the know knew anyway, Josh. Fnatic are looking like they've got all sorts of problems. So let's do a bit of post-match analysis based on what we've seen. Let's start with Fnatic, the losers. They've got a lot of room for improvement. Did you notice anything that they really need to tweak?
They actually had a really strong counter-terrorist side that I saw. I was really impressed by it. They had really good patience on the retakes, especially from Freeze, with his op just coming in through the jungle area, getting amazing kills onto all of the Curse members coming up into the A-bomb site. Now, their terrorist side was a little lackluster. They didn't have any momentum gained. I think straight from the pistol round, basically, they just kept losing rounds that they shouldn't have been throwing away. What they need to do more is send Freeze in first. We saw Freeze in the second half, how he was just basically running point. Anytime Curse was running an A execution, Freeze was there just owning them. So if we saw his op a little bit more in the first half, just getting entry picks, opening rounds up, getting, starting the execution instead of having the smokes and flashes being thrown over, I think they would have had a lot more success. And if they don't do that, I think what they needed to do was more of their baiting and rotation strats, where they pressure B, have Curse rotate to B, and then they just walk up A and take the site when there's no force there. Because they played their post plants relatively well. We saw that on the counter side, how they had the patience, and that's good for their terrorist side post plant. But they never got to that point, really. They always struggled getting into the site. They'd always die first and then make the trade, but then get traded after. It was always they kill 1 and lose 2, and they can't do that if they want to take the site.
So if you were to have to, and I know this is always difficult as a player, but I think it's important that we do this kind of thing. If you had to kind of lay the blame at someone's feet as an individual on the Fnatic side, who would you pick?
Ooh. I don't know.
I think that's very diplomatic. I mean, look, I know what you're saying about Frizz. I think he had a much better CT half than he did T half. And certainly Jochen did a lot of work on CT, which he didn't get to do in Terrorist. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I think when you are the AWPer and you are that kind of marquee player, if you like, you've got to be big, and you've got to be big in games like this. Now, he's going to know the guys. He's going to know Natu. It's, a 1.6... kind of reunion there. He's going to be the guy who's going to have to brain on, and everyone knows what he was capable of in 1.6. So to see him not really replicating that in an offensive nature on the Terrorist side is a little bit sad for me. I know he's capable of making entry picks because I've seen him do it.
Well, yeah, I think I don't think Joker did so well on this counter side. I think he had one good sight hold, but before that, he was 5-8. So to say he had a really good counter-terror side is a bit of an overstatement.
I didn't say it was a really good. No one had a really good game from Fnatic. What I was saying was...
I think Frizz had a good
improved.
CT side.
It was improved.
It was improved. It was.
Yeah. Which it couldn't get much worse because it was 13-2 at half-time.
But the thing is that when you're looking at who played well and who didn't play well, you're looking at who was at the top of the scoreboard, who was getting a lot of frags. But I don't think that has anything to do with the tactics that Fnatic ran. And I think the tactics is what made them play like poop, not the players having crap aim. Well, sorry.
I didn't realize ESEA was.
All right, they played like shit. You happy? They fucking played like shit.
Well, no, I didn't want to make it rated 18 either. But,
oh, okay. Well,
let's leave poop out. Okay, well, let's talk about Curse, right?
Curse, okay.
Because we're ripping on Fnatic. Perhaps it's only fair that we actually give some credit to Curse, which were my pick, of course, and I did say 16.
Oh, yeah, rub it in. Okay.
Yeah, I did say 16, 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
69, so I just want to add that, put that out there. But look, for me, they're doing great work. I think they're going to be a huge team in CS:GO next year. I really think that. I think Curse have really been smart in the pickup they've made. I think they've done their homework. I know enough about, like, say, from talking to the players, that they've not got the ego, that they know this is a new game, that they're going to work hard at it. And you know what? While everyone's talking about very game's going to get it together, or are we going to see Fnatic get it together? Na'Vi are coming over. ESC gaming are making progress. Right now, I think if Curse were to play all of those teams, they'd beat them.
Yeah, Curse definitely. I've seen good things out of them, but again, like I said before, we started the cast, or just as we started the cast, actually, is they haven't done anything recently. Is the main focus. They are a mid-tier team. They're not.
No, you cannot say this. You cannot say this.
Why can I not say this?
You cannot say they're a mid-tier team.
They are, though.
They almost did something that no team has come close to doing.
What's that?
And that was beat NiP. NiP have not lost a competitive game. Curse took them to overtime. And I know you're going to say one game does not a team make, but that surely is an indicator. Surely. Of the things they're going to do in this league. Put it this way, I'm going to go out early. I know this is like the second round of games. If Curse do not make the LAN finals in ESEA, there's got to be a forfeit involved. I'm not going to do a Joe Miller and take my top off because no one wants to see that. And mind you,
what about beers?
When Joe do it, and if I shave my head, well, I'm bald anyway, so there's not a lot of that. But we're going to have to.
What if we say you have to use Rogaine for a month? Is Rogaine the hair growing?
Yeah, Rogaine is the hair.
All right. So you have to, if they don't make top 4, you have to use Rogaine for a month.
Forfeit. Like if someone wants to buy me that, I'd use it now. Anyway, look, we need to think of a forfeit, I think, as we go on throughout the ESEA season. But I don't know. I think you're really underrating because to call them a mid-tier team is absolutely ridiculous. Because what they've done is when VG have played against NiP, they've folded, they've capitulated. When ESC Gaming have played against NiP, they've capitulated. When Curse played them, they pushed them all the way. And they should realistically, if you go back and you analyse the mistakes that were made in that game, you know what? Curse should have won it. And they were really disheartened that they didn't, and that's why they lost the overtime 4-0.
Well, do you think it's them playing poorly, which is what caused them to lose, or is it them playing really good, which got them that close?
I think what we've seen today I think we've looked at Curse. I think we've seen people who can aim. I think, look, that 16-9, ignore that score. Just ignore that score because it's absolute nonsense that fnatic got 9 rounds. They did not deserve 9 rounds. It should have been 16-2. And if it wasn't for an eco, it would have been. So let's keep that in mind. And Curse have shown that they can run strats and that they can aim and that they can even get away with throwing away rounds against a side like fnatic and still win comfortably. That is the measure of a great side, when a side can just say, you know what, don't worry about it. Let's just eco 4 rounds in a row. Let's just, let's run the same strat every round. We're still going to win. That is how you measure a good team. And for me, Curse absolutely deserve to be considered right now in the top tier of European teams.
Okay, I have a question for you then.
Okay.
Tonight, if we were to put Absolute Legends versus Curse, who would come out on top?
Curse.
And in 2 months down the line?
Curse.
So you think Curse by far is going to beat Absolute Legends in the top 4?
Curse. Yeah, Curse. Of course, Curse.
Okay.
It's gonna be right
Okay.
now. Look,
Okay.
Look, Absolute Legends are a great side. There is absolutely no doubt about that. I like what they're doing. I like their recent pickup today. I mean, that Schneider, I think, is gone full time with them.
Yeah.
He is the nuts. He is an amazing player.
We played them a few nights ago, and Schneider was going off on us.
Come from, because he is unstoppable, and he did it at LAN, so you can't even call this kid an onliner. Schneider is next level, and it would be a hell of a matchup. You know what? I know it's a ridiculous name, isn't it? But you know what? I will tell you this, Josh. And again, you can remember this because it's going to be a VOD, so we get able to play it back.
Nice.
Absolute Legends would give Curse in 2 months' time, right now, whenever you want. They would give them a much better game than fnatic have. They'd probably give them a much better game than Very Games. I mean, literally, I think Very Games are a side in transition. I think they need to make some roster changes. So I'm just going to go out there and say right now, Scandinavia is probably going to come back in CSGO like it did in 1.6 right at the start. Which of course that never translated to Source. But those teams, the Finns, the Swedes, they're gonna be a big deal. There's no doubt about it for me. CS:GO is a new game, and by definition, it cannot be about the same old names. That's my opinion.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see, I guess. I have nothing else to say about that except for you better get the Rogaine ready, or maybe I'll get it for you. Who cares?
Okay, well, look, like I say, I'm willing to do a if I'm wrong, always willing. But yeah, Curse will be going out to the States to play in the LAN finals. Anyway, look, let's wrap this up because we're whittering on about not a whole lot of much we can prove. I don't know when the next games are going to be because you can never fully tell in a league of this nature what games are going to get put back. But hopefully we're going to have something for you real soon. Just having a look at tomorrow's games. It's absolutely possible that we might be bringing you Fragmasters versus ESEA, the Spanish club, which of course they did actually quite well at DreamHack Valencia. I think they drew with Very Games, if my memory serves.
Yeah, they did. And Aquila or whatever.
Absolutely sick.
Amazing.
Yeah, real sick player. So hopefully we'll be bringing that to you. If not, we will be bringing you it shortly whenever the reschedule is. So I just want to say to all the people who tuned in to listen to our broadcast, thank you very much. It was always a pleasure to cast these ESEA games. And thanks to you, Josh, for offering insight and being the sobering yin to my raging yang.
My pleasure. I love to be here with you.
All right, well, and I am. You sounded very convincing, very sincere when you said that. Right, so.
Is that your way of saying gay?
No. I'm not bringing that to the table. So I'm Richard Lewis, the editor of Cadred.org. Thanks for all for tuning in, and hopefully see you tomorrow for Fragmasters Toxic versus ESEA.